Is now in session Tuesday, August 29, 2023, 9 a.m. Mr. Maskell, do the honors, please.
As we have Mr. Darren Donald Simpson Fellowship Baptist do his invocation, and we'll do the pledges.
All right, let's bow together. Our Father, we come to you in the precious name of Jesus and by his blood and his sacrifice for our sins. We recognize in your sovereignty you have placed each one of us where we are, that we might give you glory by serving you and serving our fellow men. We are grateful for this commissioner's court, and we ask that you would grant them wisdom with all the decisions that must be made and the challenges that they are facing. And Lord, we do ask, we plead with you, that in your mercy that you would send rain to our land. But until you do, may we act with prudence and with wisdom, with all that you have entrusted us with, to your glory, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
United States flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of a proclamation proclaiming September 2023 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Washington County. A proclamation. Whereas childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease of children ages 1 to 19 years in the United States, and the second leading cause of death exceeded only by accidents. And every year, over 17,000 young children will be diagnosed with cancer, and 1,960 will die of the disease in the U.S. And survival rates for childhood cancers vary widely depending on the type of cancer and can range from less than 1% to over 90%. And on average, clinical trials for children begin 6.5 years after adult trials. And most current standard treatment for pediatric cancer were approved before 1990 and half before the mid-1980s. And due to the toxicity of treatments, 2 out of every 3 survivors will still develop at least one chronic health condition, including musculoskeletal problems and second cancers. And 60% of childhood cancer survivors experience severe or life-threatening complications in adulthood. And all children deserve the chance to dream, discover, and realize their full potential even when fighting dreaded disease. Now therefore it be that resolved that the Commissioner's Court for Washington County, Texas does hereby proclaim September 2023 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Washington County and joins the nation in renewing its commitment to curing childhood cancer.
Make a motion to approve the proclamation proclaiming September 2023 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Washington County.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Is approved. Is there someone here to accept the proclamation?
Yes, my name is Lance Weiss. I am a board member with Adams Angels Ministry. Adams Angels Ministry is a nonprofit organization here in Brenham, Texas that assists families with going through the process of having a child that has cancer. It's a nonprofit organization that was founded in 2004 by Donna and Tim Culliver. They lost a son, Adam, in 2003 to cancer. So through that, it has been their mission to assist families throughout the Brazos Valley area. Their mission, Adams, or like I said, Angels, the A stands for awareness in the community. The N stands for needs of stricken families. The G stands for giving from the heart. The E stands for encouragement for others to help. The L stands for the love for the children. And S stands for serving with faith and hope. So I want to thank y'all for this proclamation and helping spread that awareness. And if anybody needs any more information on how to donate, where they can assist by volunteering with the organization, or if they have a family that needs some assistance, they can go to adamsangelsministry.org. Again, that's adamsangelsministry.org. I want to say thank you all on behalf of the board. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us this morning, accepting this, and thank you for the work that you do.
Absolutely.
Nothing bothers me more than to see on TV the advertisement from St. Jude Hospital, up by the state. But they help children there a lot, and I see that, it just makes me want to cry all the time. Every time I see that. So God bless the children.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Captain, would you come forward, please? Sir.
One, two, three. And 1, 2, 3.
Thank you again. Thank you. Appreciate you, Judge. Thank you all very much. Thank you so
Item number 4, discuss and possibly act upon the enforcement of the no parking signs placed on the county property located on Bluebell Road between Independence Street and Armbruster Street. Mr. Williams?
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. That is the lot that is directly opposed from our office. It's that triangle. EMS 1 is on the other side. Historically, it's been a place that we've always had issues with trucks parking, thus no parking signs have been added and will be covered up during fair, so those lots can be utilized.
I make a motion to, put enforcement signs of no parking signs placed on the county property located on Bluebell Road between Independence Street and Armister Street.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 5, discuss and possibly act upon the purchase of an AC unit and handler for the Washington County Expo. Commissioners, we have 3 bids for that today. We have for a 12.5-ton unit from Nibelcorp. Is that the name of the company?
Yes, sir.
$33,502. And for triple T refrigeration, $30,304. You recommend?
I'd recommend going with Triple T. I'd also we're replacing a 34-year-old unit. The average life is about 10 years, 10 to 12 years on some of these units, so we've really gotten our money's worth out of the current unit. This is replacing the upstairs unit in the sales facility where all of our new sound equipment lives, all the brains, so we're essentially spending 30 to save about 120.
Yes, we just don't want any trouble with air conditioners. We had our bout of that last year in the sales facility, so I think just replacing this air conditioner is definitely needed, and we will definitely, hopefully, have that done before the fair starts.
Yes,
So
sir.
in the interim, I would say we need to go through and do put together a thorough replacement plan at this point, because I know we've got a lot of
Bobby.
antiquated.
Bobby is assisting us with that process right now as we work through it. There is a lot of equipment at our facility, and so we're biting it off chunk by chunk, going through some of the units that we have. They haven't been manufactured in 30 plus years.
Right.
We have gotten our money's worth out of all of our units, and we'll have to discuss large scale replacement.
A request was made by this court through budget a few years ago to have that done over the whole county, and we have yet to see that report. So we're looking forward to that.
Motion?
I make a motion to purchase the AC unit and handler for the Washington County Expo from Triple T Refrigeration in the amount of $30,304.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulations contract. This morning, we have one for a wedding anniversary and another for a drive-through fundraiser.
I make a motion to approve the pending Washington County Expo rental regulations contracts and give the county judge the authority to sign.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss and possibly act upon consideration of consolidating polling places for the November 7, 2003 election. Ms. Jackson.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. The County Election Board met yesterday and discussed consolidating polling locations for this November 7th election. It is basically for this election only due to the type of traffic that we actually have for this election as far as voters. And it's usually a low turnout. And so once the board recommends this, then the commissioners has to vote on it.
I want to point out this is the constitutional amendment election. So, and we reduced from 8 polling places to 4, correct?
We're actually reducing from 14 to 4. Yesterday was just something to choose from,
I
8 or
understand
8
that.
or 4.
We looked at that, and you had 2 in each precinct, and then we reduced.
Yeah, we did.
There's
We discussed
so
that.
few turnouts, pretty weak for constitutional amendment.
Right.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve consolidating the polling places for the November 7th, 2023 election.
I'll second that.
motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8, discuss and possibly act upon the purchase of a 2024 Ford Expedition Max for the Washington County Extension Office. Mr. Dean?
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to address the court this morning. As you all know, this was something we brought up in the budget meetings, in a budget workshop. I shared some data at that time of what we had already seen on cost savings and projected cost savings on the unit that we currently have. And one note that I'll make, I know on the agenda item it says that it is for the Washington County Extension Office. This is for Washington County. We bear the burden of managing the unit, but this is something that multiple departments have checked out. I believe Beth's office has checked it out. I know the commissioners, several of them have checked it out. The Expo has, IT has used it, EMS has used it, so there's a number of departments that have used it in addition to just the extension office. So I also followed up per the request of Commissioner Hanneth with some additional return on investment data that I shared with you all as you continue to work through budget. Was able to show you that not only is there projected cost savings, but essentially the vehicle with a replacement plan, 120,000 miles, 5 years, would not only pay for itself, but with a diminished trade-in value, so essentially picking what I would expect to be the lowest trade-in value, the vehicle would again pay for itself and still return money back to the county, as opposed to paying mileage for anything that would have been billed that vehicle could have been taken for. So specific to our department, I'll tell you, I'll give you 2 examples this summer where we've had to not only take the current one that we have, but rent an additional vehicle. So the idea of being able to haul multiple people, being able to take vehicles that we already have, we onus in, significantly diminishes what I expect to be the cost burden in our budgets. As we look forward to zero-based budgeting, I expect you to be able to see a downturn in the request for travel within our department alone, simply because of the cost savings that this unit would allow, and the addition of the other unit as well. So I can answer questions as it relates to the return on investment and the data that I prepared for you, but as it relates to the bid process, court members, you'll have to address Commissioner Kester and Judge Ehrenberger as they took the lead on that.
I think we discussed this in budget as well, thoroughly, because Mr. Finney gave us the data to make this decision. So appreciate all the work that put into it and the court members that were involved. So
I'll move upon the purchase of a 2024 Ford Expedition.
Okay, we have 3 bids this morning for this. The first is from Apple Ford, $59,664.32. And then from Chastain Ford, for $59,988. I will make one comment about that bid, that there's a good bid, but it did not include the towing package, so the towing package itself is about $1,000. And then we have a bid from
Caldwell Country.
Caldwell Country, yes, I'm sorry, $64,744. So your recommendation?
Obviously, if we can trade business locally, and they were able to come in and beat, the other two bids, please note, the other two bids were also through Buy Board, GovDeal certified, bid prospects. So they were able to come in and beat those prices. Also, one comment that I'll share with the court and those that are in the audience, the funds for this are coming out of Washington County Extension's budget for this year. So we've been able to capitalize on some cost savings and are gonna be able to share that back with the addition of an asset to help mitigate increased costs for the county.
Thank you for clarifying that. I was.
Okay.
Well, and the other thing is we really appreciate you managing this. It seems to have worked really well. You've set an app up that allows people to check the availability of the vehicle.
Sure.
And I would just say that she also has set up a policy for what needs to be the expectations of utilizing the vehicle, bringing it back full of fuel and
Absolutely.
clean.
Absolutely. There's an expectation, we were all raised, return things in as good or better condition than you found them, so this is no different. We're all grown adults and we can all step up to the plate and help do that kind of thing. You will find the three of us from the extension office detailing it on a fairly regular basis. So we do take it down and get it cleaned up to make sure that it is clean and ready for the next user.
Very good. It works good for us to be able to use that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And I can't take full credit for the booking platform that we use. Mr. Williams is the one that stumbled upon that and uses it for some other conference room facilities. And it's worked well for us to manage these assets as well. Eventually it'll become a fee-based so we can.
Is it SCEDA?
It is SCEDA. So eventually we're using the free platform right now. Eventually I do believe there'll be a fee that we need to associate with it simply to manage data. So that we have better data retention. Right now, we're doing it kind of the old school way. There is a mileage log in the vehicle. So you do have to, so we can account for every single mile that's on the vehicle.
Great. Mr. Kester?
Yes. I move upon the purchase of a 2024 Ford Expedition Max for the Washington County Extension Office.
I'll second.
Motion been made, second, any further discussion?
I think we need to have where we're going to purchase it from and the amount. We're purchasing it from Apple Ford.
We're purchasing. Apple Ford was the low bidder at $59,664.32, so we awarded that bid top.
That's the amendment to it. Who seconded
I did.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item number 9, discuss a formal notice for water service installation by PGMS in the Weber Lane right-of-way precinct 3. Mr. Phillips?
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Yes, this is a notice. There's going to be a water service installation over at 6228 Weber Lane. We've been in contact with them on this one. They're going to be placing this actually at the property line. The neighboring tract does have a water well, but in case they ever do end up having a replacement, or they do want to get on service for this, so they can actually tie into the same service line. It's be a 2-inch bore with a 1-inch service line across.
it? I think this is basically textbook and following policy. So I make a motion to approve.
This is.
Oh, we don't need.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 10, discuss and possibly act upon the purchase of a chip spreader from R.B. Everett and Company for the Engineering Development Services Department through a state cooperative purchasing program, Buy Board, contract number 685-22. Mr. Stokes?
Yes, we've been speaking about this during budget. We've solicited multiple quotes through state pricing contracts. This is actually the lowest of the two major distributors for chip spreader type of equipment that you typically see. This one would actually be for Netner, and it actually would be $2,056 cheaper than the expected budgetary numbers that was presented in budget. With that in mind, we were originally looking at $400,000. This one came in at $397,944. This is a state pricing, so the two that have come through are accepted.
It's $397.
$397,944.
Commissioners, we've been talking about this for years and our challenges that we face with getting the paving contracts and a slew of other issues. So Mr. Stoltz is just new to this, but he also understands. He went through a paving cycle and understands those challenges. I will tell you, Mr. Stoltz also gave us data that shows that there's a $211,000 a year savings based upon the current level of cost. And Mr. Stoltz, this is something that we, it's an investment to our county government.
Great.
To have this equipment. So we definitely do not want to mess this one up. So we appreciate you taking on this challenge, and it's something that we just cannot fail at. So thank you so much for presenting that information to us and allowing us the opportunity to make this move at this point.
Yes, sir.
And for clarity for the media, unless y'all didn't fully catch all of that, as you know, that we've been contracting with a provider that lays the asphalt for us every year. Due to prices, logistics, and many other things, this court is investing in this equipment so that our team at Washington County can provide that service internally.
In a timely manner. That's been one of the big hangups with
So when we
the
set up-
contracting. They're just not here on time. And
There's much fewer contractors that do this type of work. It's a niche market, and it's a dying market, to be honest with you. A lot of the old-timer contracts, they're finally kind of coming out, and there's been a void. With that being in mind, you have contractors with a larger clientele. That just means that you have to work off of their schedule, and you go months with setting up roads where you're essentially waiting on those. So this will be an assistance with that particular quality control as well.
I will say that when we set a road up now, there's people complaining to me a lot about dust. And I think once we get all set up doing it ourselves, the dust will go away because we'll pave the road right away. So that'll make things a lot better for everyone.
Yes, sir. That's the intent, is that we set the road up, we're coming right back behind, just as you would just any other type of contract.
Also, I think we need to clarify the discussions that we had during our budget hearings was that we were gonna pull this down from the road and bridge fund balance. Is that
That would be what
still
was
the
discussed
intent?
with budget, and that would be my expectation this would come from the reserve.
Okay,
no,
I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page.
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Okay.
Make a motion to purchase the chip sealer from RB Company for $397,944 for the Engineering and Development Services Department through the State Cooperative Purchasing Program by board contract number 685-22.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss and possibly act upon the purchase of an asphalt distributor truck from Associated Supply Company Incorporated for the Engineering and Development Services Department through State Cooperative Purchasing Program, Sourcewell, contract number 060122 BTL.
Yeah, so this is the other component to that. This is gonna be the distributor truck that will actually spray out the asphalt binder that will be used as part of the chip sealing process. With this one in mind, there is also, there's two major distributors that carry this type of product. One is the Aetna, which is what we just looked at. The other one is a Leeboy, Roscoe type of material or product. The Leeboy actually won out in terms of the state pricing contract for these, for comparables, and we are recommending going forward with this. As just additional information, we did discuss with them about in terms of the schedule in providing this, because it is our full intention that we will be operational by the next paving season, which should start May of 2024. With that in mind, that's been a very paramount item. Will you have this equipment available? They have stated they have this equipment available to us. We've essentially given them a letter of intent, conditional upon approval of the Commissioner's Court, so this particular products are available and ready to go. That goes for both the chip spreader as well as the distributor truck. So I just want to keep you in mind on that. The budgetary numbers that we came through originally that we got from these were $315,000. We got fortunate there was some equipment that meets our specifications that are on site that we can get for $263,573.90, which would be a $51,426.10 savings based on our budgetary numbers originally. With that in mind, I do want to thank the Extension Office. They did allow us to utilize the Explorer to go down there because obviously we wanted to take a look at this particular one. It has a chassis on it. We wanted to inspect the chassis. We're going forward with that. Thank you, Commissioner, for attending that as well. Everything is in good shape with this one. Our shop techs and shop supervisor are very comfortable with this, so I do recommend approval of this.
Commissioners, if you, this is, in addition to this, we also purchased 2 dump trucks
Correct.
previously for the same project. So this equipment is definitely an investment for the paving, for the future of the paving.
Also, we've got Nelly dump also coming. This is along with those 2 dump trucks. That being said, I move upon the purchase of an asphalt distributor truck from Associated Supply Company Incorporated for $263,573.90 for the Engineering and Development Services Department through a state cooperative purchasing program Sourcewell contract number 060122-VTL.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to say, tell you and your team, thank you for, busting your butt, trying to get this done with the contractor scheduling and delay, not having to get the bid the first time and all the extra work you and your guys been putting in to get this done. I know everybody wants their road paid immediately and they want everything taken care of, but how many miles you gotta worry about in the county?
It's over 630.
And it's, you got a lot going on, your team's been busting your butt, and I'd like to say thank you to them.
Well, thank you very much, sir. We're striving to be as efficient as we possibly can. We're constantly trying to take on as many challenges as we possibly can do to make sure we're where we need to be. So,
Great job. Appreciate it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Item number 12, presentation of the following monthly reports. County Clerk. Stretch, I have Mr. Hoffman offensive in here, but you'll do it. Absolutely.
The report, I believe, was provided to you all. Our numbers were a little bit down for July. Also, in other areas as well, but of note was the fact that our criminal numbers were down a little bit too, and that's because we only had 1 court day during the month of July. But all in all, we are good. Any questions?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
District Clerk, Ms. Bronner. Oh, there you are. I knew I saw you come in. I lost you.
I was appreciative. July was a little bit slower month, but August kicked back up with the fire. So next month, next month, the report will look a little bit more, but we had just more trials.
More trials, okay.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? Thank you, Dan. Okay. Justice of the Peace report. Questions or comments about the Justice of the Peace report? Officers report, Ms. Dyer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we are left with about 42% of the year remaining to collect revenue and to expend funds. The revenue collected so far has been 49.37%. So that's a little bit more than what's remaining of the year, but we get a lot of our revenues towards the end of the year from tax collections and things like that. So the expenses overall, 43.76 remaining to expend. So that's about right in line. I will say that in May, Gov Deals, we sold the old jail generator for $10,100.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That was good.
I'm surprised we got anything for it at all.
Yeah.
That's surprised.
Yeah.
The total sales tax collected for July is $394,862.62, which is 16% higher than last year.
And so far this year, the total sales tax collected is 12% higher than last year. I do want to point out again on my report where it shows the fund balance of the general fund. It does show it a negative, but that is because of investment.
Invested,
Mhm.
correct.
Yes. So that's all I have, unless y'all have some questions.
Now, I appreciate you putting in your report the offices that you audited due to employees leaving. I appreciate that information.
Very good. Anything else? Thank you. And then the treasurer report, Ms. Kramer?
Yes. All of the stuff that I reconcile comes out to penny again, as it should. As you can see on the last page of the report, the interest has gone up on the Texas class investment that we've got. That's nice to see that it's gone from 4.90 to 4.95 to 5% in July. So we're rocking along there, and we have had to move some of the funds out of the other one above that on the report to the general number 2 because we're waiting on taxes to come in, which we're not getting much right now, not until they start paying again in October. So, I'm having to use that general fund number 2 to get there. We're gonna make it.
I think an important thing to note here is the year-to-date interest, which is $167,244.
You like that?
I think it's good for our constituency to know that we are still working to keep this fund balance so that we can offset some of our costs. So,
Well, and it certainly helps with the new rate that we started with the bank too.
yes.
So that's nice. Starting in May, that went up significantly.
Good number.
I thank them for that. But otherwise, everything is good.
Item number 13, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of overtime pay for any county employee that assists the Washington County Tax Assessor's Collector's Office due to vacancies. Belcher?
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Commissioner Bullock and I had a discussion last week with the vacancies in the Tax Assessor Collector's Office. We've had a meeting, we had some people come forward and volunteer to spend some time over there answering the phone so that Cheryl wasn't all by herself. So I think it's important to provide an incentive to these employees. We do have incentive pays that specific policies in place for some of our shift work employees. So rather than utilizing something like that, we can't always approve an overtime rate. So it's up to you guys to decide.
And I heard that there have been some mistakes since we last discussed.
Well, I think so. Well, first of all, there is an employee from Austin County that's now in that office working with me this morning. So I don't know that we really need this need of this. Now, we did have Darlene and Janet both worked over there. So I don't know, Commissioner, how y'all feel about this, but I don't know if there's really a need for this.
Well, I do think this is a slippery slope for us, and I do also believe that we've had shortages and things in other offices. I called Ms. Melchek because I wanted to know if there was something in the compensation policy that allowed the court to make this decision in this situation. Did you find anything that allowed for that?
There's only one thing similar in the policy, and that's when our patrol deputies operate during a special event, they can be authorized to have overtime pay during that event.
But it's specific to
Did you-
patrol.
Specific to patrol.
Should it be called overtime pay or adjusted pay? If they're working in a regular 40 hours?
Well, it can be an incentive, an additional incentive would probably be more appropriate. The rate would just be something that you need to decide upon.
Well, and when we had this conversation last week, as you all know, there was nothing on the horizon.
Exactly.
And so the conversation surrounded that was, what can we do to try and bridge that gap in the meantime?
There's a stopgap. things have changed since last week, so this is the situation. And they'll be changing more rapidly as it goes.
So what is the status of, the applicants?
So we have one full-time employee that actually can start on Thursday. Another one that'll be starting, I think, the 7th, and then the third starting on the 11th.
Okay, and can you provide Judge more information regarding this, employee from Austin County that's going to be helped? Like, has there been any conversation about the duration of how long? Because I know from the conversations we had on Friday, it's going to take several of these, employees quite some time to actually become certified to do the work
I
in
think
the
it's
office.
quite as long as we thought it was gonna take.
Okay, so how long is it now?
And I'm not sure, the judge and I talked, and it was what,
Well, I had
11 cents?
clarification late Friday. It was a day-long conversation with Austin, the director up there. His statement was that the initial 10 questions, 10 segments of
Modules.
module there would take the person 1 day. I mean,
For all certifications or just for?
For the first 2. And he said those are basically to get where you do transfers and that sort of thing. Then there's the next 11. He said that's probably for the basic things. And then you're set up to do almost everything in there except the really management type stuff. And so the new employees shouldn't take them long to certify.
And I think they had offered to send people from Waco, from the tax assessors.
To assist with the
To train.
education training.
Right, so that for that first day or two, we can have some intensive training so that they can hit the ground running.
Okay. So
So
it sounds
that's a
like,
lot different than we tried to begin with. And let me, we also about, we were also told for 2 days that we could not have an employee from another county. Told me that. Well, that was also at 5:30 on Friday, that got clarified, that yes, you can, they just have to come in and put in, the Waco office has to authorize their ID number and so forth to get into the state system. And that's all you gotta do, is for it to operate that. And the TJ is setting up, the Austin County person this morning, so to get into the county system, computer system, so that's being taken care of. So that's where we are with that person.
so at this point, it sounds like we don't even require, any type of incentive. Would that be your position?
That's y'all's decision to make. I know we did have employees who sat over there, and that's up to
Well,
y'all.
we're still, like, well, let's use, Chloe, for instance, out of my office. I just make sure I stay here. I just don't go to any other meetings or anything like that during that time. She's there in the mornings and Janice in the afternoon. We kind of compensate for all that. We just kind of adapt the schedule somewhat. So, and I think that's going to be necessary for the remainder of this week, probably more than next month.
We've had other offices have the same situation, and they've adapted as well, and those employees did not receive any overtime or any compensation for that. I think once you start picking and choosing which places get that compensation, you create a problem.
I don't think that's this. I don't think we've ever had a department with no employee.
This department itself had no employees once before, and we had the same situation where Austin County came to help us. It was when Rita Jazorski was here, and every employee was eliminated from that office. So it's happened in the past, and we handled it the same way. Austin County came in and helped us, and we appreciate their help.
Absolutely.
Very much.
And thank you to our employees that stepped up to that.
Yes,
Yeah,
we appreciate their help.
absolutely.
Vote is
Okay, so then I
voluntary.
need to vote this down. I make a motion to not approve line item 13,
A second.
or agenda item 13, sorry.
Motion been made, seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, discuss and possibly act upon approval of accounts payable.
Morning again. This week's bills, the total was $848,969.23. part of the payment was from the donations that for Harrison down at the fairgrounds to get 4 of his new picnic tables, which I know will be greatly appreciated come fair time. There was a couple of payments out for the monies out of the task money for the EMS station out in Somerville, so that's rolling along out there. But other than that, it's just a lot of regular repairs and maintenance and stuff.
I move upon the approval of accounts payable.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned. We will convene our workshop meeting in about 15 minutes.